This is my evolution simulator. It's sat here at level 1 at the moment, and it's just randomly generating strange looking creatures. And the muscles can either contract or expand. And everything about these creatures so far is entirely random. The big circles you see in the background, you've got the orange one and the blue one. The orange one is a selector for which of the muscles should be expanding, like muscles in your arm or leg. And the blue one is muscles that should contract. And the very first thing my application did was to generate 1,000 random creatures. I call them creatures, but they don't look much like creatures just yet. Oh, except that one could be a bit like a worm. And the goal of this exercise is to take 1,000 random creatures and see if over time they can evolve to move. We measure, you can see the red measurement, how far they manage to go in a positive direction. So the first 1,000 that were generated, the average distance moved was 0. But some moved slightly to the right and some moved slightly to the left. But their overall average was a movement of 0. So here's our best results for generation 2. And we can play back some of them. Here we are, quite a lot of movement, lots of bouncing around. That's okay, it's progress. It's not very refined, it doesn't look like it's walking or crawling, it's more of a jumper. That's got an interesting waddle. Could be mistaken for walking, I suppose. So how did we get from generation 1 to generation 2? The top 20 or 30% of all the movers were chosen. These two, for example, here, they would be allowed to breed together. Let's pick some random dimensions from A, some from B, and merge them together into one offspring. And mix into that some random mutation. And it worked well. So by the time we reached generation, let's say 6, and we'll look at our best distance, we're getting quite some meterage covered now. So the winner here was 4.6 meters. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, it's not pretty, but it's definitely moving. So you can see with generation 10, we've got lots of spinners and jumpers. The reason they can jump and spin so far is the amount of energy they're using. Look how many limbs this has got, or muscles, and all of them are expanding and contracting enormously. So the rules were changed to say that it's not just a factor of distance. We're going to start scoring you now. We're going to measure the effort you put in. So rather than sorting by best distance, I can now sort by the best score, which is looking a lot different, because we now want efficient animals. We want animals that move a long way with the minimum of effort exerted. We've still got some jumpers here. There's a big springy one we can see, but a more typical one. So by generation 10 here, we've got 8.4 meters on quite a small creature. I love the way that moves. Look at that, isn't that marvelous? That's quite a good one in generation 11. Hey, that's got a really good scoot on. Look at that. That is perfect, isn't it? Really good. Oh, here's a huge jumper. Let's have a look at this one. See, lots of effort. Generation 14. And our best scores. So maybe we've been giving too much towards a lean creature. Look how few cells this has got now. Very few links, very few muscles, and it scoots along really well. It looks a bit less like a creature, but look at that movement. 11.8 meters with hardly any energy used because there's hardly any muscles or links in this creature. Let's have a look at this one. So this wiggling approach really seems to have taken off at the moment.